Hello there, friends. I'm so glad you're here to scrapbook with me today. I am doing a little stash busting. For those of you that are new here, welcome. My name's Erin and my channel is called Crafty Concepts with Erin. So well over a year ago, I was at a scrapbooking retreat, and like most scrapbooking retreats, they come to an end way too early. So I remember setting up for this layout and then had to, pack it up because it was time to start packing up all of our supplies and leave, which is always a very sad time. So this is a fantastic scrapbooking collection that I bought lots of, so I still have plenty of it. It's called Hey Handsome. So this is what I had started and for my layout, so that's why it was separate, but I went ahead and grabbed the rest of it just in case I need to add some bits and pieces. Now this is a really funny story I am documenting about hot sauce and my boys. This is Clayton. He was grocery shopping with me on this particular day, and yes, that is a conveyor belt full of Taco Bell hot sauce. So I will explain why this is scrapbook worthy, but I'm so glad that I actually ran out of time. It was, meant to be, because now I have this stamp set, Attention Shoppers, and it is so cute. Now this is a bottle of wine, but my thought is to turn this into a bottle of hot sauce and load up the cart. I can see it. I think it's going to be super cute. So let's see if what I'm envisioning in my mind actually comes to, translate onto paper. I'm going to adhere this down. I only have the 2 photos, so this is definitely going to be a single page layout. Now, this is one of those stamp sets where you might be thinking, oh, that's super cute, but how often would I use that? So, you can make cards with it for lots of different occasions, but I bought it with the intent to scrapbook because I have photos like this, and I also have photos of my older son grocery shopping when he first moved out on his own, so that's definitely a noteworthy moment. And then I have pictures of us grocery shopping during COVID and how weird it was, right? Because there were all these rules and regulations for grocery shopping and it was like a big deal. So there's already 3 memories that I can use this stamp for, and I know that there is going to be more. So what I'm thinking, or what I was thinking originally, I remember I had this like this, and I had these kind of tilted over the corner of because there's not much, going on in the corner here. Actually, they need to sweep their grocery store floor. That's looking a little bit rough there. So we'll just cover that up and let them keep their dignity. So something like this, I'll probably trim down that green paper. And yeah, and then I had some bits and pieces in here. So as I mentioned, this paper collection is called Hey Handsome. So there was a little title in the workshop that says, this little speech bubble, it says hey, and then you could put the word handsome under it. But I was thinking, hey, hot stuff, which might be kind of fun to play into the whole hot sauce going here. So I don't know what I was going to do with these. I don't remember that. I don't think I got that far. I think I just placed out the paper and thought about the title. So I'm kind of envisioning, hey, hot stuff here and different fonts. But yeah, let's go ahead and stamp out our embellishments so we have all of our pieces to work with. Actually, I'm not using this stamp. There is a stamp set for the shopping cart, so you can stamp it, but I am going to use the die cut to create my shopping cart, and then we're going to stamp the little wine bottle and turn it into hot sauce. I thought about die cutting the shopping cart from silver foil paper to make it look like metal, but the shopping cart's black and I do want to bring in black, so we are going to make our little cart black. I am just cutting this down so that I can add some adhesive and not go overboard on my adhesive. So there's some teeny tiny little detailed lines in this shopping cart. So here's a little tip for you. I wanted a couple layers thick to give it some structure and rigidity, a little bit of dimension. So adhere your pieces of cardstock together with some adhesive tape first, and then we can run this through our die cutting machine. I went ahead and die cut the little wheels for the lower part of the cart, and then we can just adhere these together. So all you need is a tiny little dollop of glue on the top portion of the cart, and then just stick that right down to it, and we'll give that a second to dry. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my little hot sauce bottles. So I'm just bringing in my other Versamat for a foam cushion, and then I'm using intense black ink because I am going to color those in with my Spectrum Noir TriBlend markers. So it's pretty narrow, so I'm going to use some scraps to get that stamped. Now the goal is to have the shopping cart overflowing with hot sauce. So I like to do things in odd numbers. So I think 5 will probably be good. I can always stamp more if I need to. So we will ink this up and then stamp 5 little hot sauce bottles. I'll color one of them for you on camera and then do the rest off camera. So we need 2 more. And if you're not a hot sauce consuming family, you could definitely repeat this idea and customize the bottles to something that would be appropriate. This is my burnt orange blend marker, and I'm letting the darkest color represent the actual hot sauce, and it looks pretty darn close to the Taco Bell hot sauce. And for the label, they have a brighter orange, so I'm using the lightest orange on the same marker. And then I love to add some shading with my grays. This is the brown gray, and I'm just using the lightest one to add just a hint of shading, and then the darkest one to color the lid. It's nice to use dark gray rather than black because black can kind of obscure your details. What do you think? Turned out pretty good, huh? I'm gonna go ahead and get this die cut out, and like I said, I'll do the rest off camera. There's my 5 little hot sauce bottles. Now we can start the embellishment process. I want to make sure that I have enough, so let's go ahead and dry fit these in the cart. I want them at varied heights, and I'm going to kind of tilt them to the left and right so they have like the overstuffed look. That is super cute. I went ahead and prepared some letters for the first or second portion of my title. This would be the first. So hey, hot, and then I want to stamp stuff. So this is the Moxi alphabet. If you guys have this one, it is such a cool stamp set. It is from Close to My Heart, and it came with these dies. So I love it because you can stamp it, and when you die cut it out, you get this white border that really makes it stand out nicely. So that is such a good feature. I wish it was still available. So what I'm thinking is, I don't know, this might be kind of big for this space. The other thing we can do is push the title down below here and have it kind of sitting underneath the photos. I think that it might fit there better because I really want to use this. Like I said, I like the font, and I just like how it has the white border. So hey, hot, and then I wasn't sure, so I stamped stuff on the same color Mink cardstock just to kind of play around in paprika ink. And I have used the brushed letter alpha because it has a cool grungy vibe, which is nice for teenage boys. But I think it's just too, I don't know, it's not quite what I was envisioning. I think I want it to be smaller. Yeah, I'm not sold on it. And if we put the cart here, now we have this awkward spot here, kind of trapped space. And if I put the cart here, the hot sauce doesn't show up as much because it's orange on orange. So we're going to abandon this original thought. And oops, I should probably ink up these edges and tack this down. I'm going to do that before getting carried away with the embellishing. So you're probably wondering, what is up with all the hot sauce? Was it Cinco de Mayo? Were you celebrating and having a big taco bar? Nope, none of the above. This was a very common occurrence and a common sight when we'd go to the grocery store. Both the boys became addicted to this, specifically Taco Bell hot sauce, at a very young age. They're still consuming it today as young adults. They love it. We'd eat a lot of tacos because it was easy, and who doesn't love tacos? And if we didn't have this stuff in the house, oh man, they were so sad. I was always at the grocery store, I mean, at least once a week, sometimes more frequently. And every time we'd go, we'd stock up. And, you know, it's kind of unusual. So without fail, every time the cashier would make some type of comment, and their favorite thing to ask was, "What are you guys doing? Drinking this?" My boys just gave up, and they're like, "Yep, that's what we're doing. We're drinking it." So I'm glad I actually snapped a photo. This was taken back in February of 2022, and the hot sauce obsession is documented in the album. Do you have some pantry staple item that you get without fail every time you go to the grocery store? Well, this was it for us. I'm thinking to bring in even a little bit more of that kind of teenage grunge vibe. I want to add some background texture stamping. This is the Art of Texture, and it is a photopolymer stamp. And I did recently, let me grab it. I made this card here, and I used this image to create this background. I just repeated it over and over again, kind of rotating it every other one. And look at that super simple background on this card. So it's a very cool texture stamp, and I love my texture stamps. So I'm thinking kind of just coming out the edge here, and then we can just have a little hint of that grungy look I'm going for. There are a lot of grays in this paper collection, so I am going to use my charcoal ink here, and we will just go ahead and bump our paper down out of the way. This is the benefit of dry fitting everything. Now I don't have to mask off my paper, I can just slide it down, and then I'm going to use the measurements on the Versamat to kind of line this up and carry this all the way across. So just a little bit's going to be peeking out. I don't want the whole thing showing. I am rotating the stamp a little bit just to break up the pattern, and one more ought to do it. So let's go ahead and see how this is looking. And yeah, that's a fun little detail. We can bring the photos back in. This is a true 4x6 and then a 3x4, and then I can bring my title in. So hey, and then we're gonna have hot underneath here with our Moxi Alpha, and that is stamped in, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, that is Harbour Ink, because that is also a coordinating color with this collection. And then let's go ahead and try to see what our shopping cart. It is definitely just hanging out there. It is not anchored, it's like floating. Maybe we can set it on top. I don't know. Let's bring in some paper strips to anchor this cart. So it has something to rest on, and it is anchored to the layout. Hopefully you can see the difference without the strips and then with the strips. So these are just different pattern papers from this collection, little scraps that I am choosing here. And this was a sticker. It's already dovetailed, so I went ahead and cut matching dovetails in the other piece so that they would coordinate together. I do plan to add my journaling to the lower right-hand corner, so I want to keep that open and reserve that space for my story. This is definitely helping to anchor this shopping cart, but I think we can do better. So one of my tried and true embellishing hacks is to anchor your embellishment with a shape. So I'm going to use circle, and I'm just kind of testing out which one I want here. I think that one's going to be a good size. So I cut that using the Spotlight on Nature dies, and this edge is kind of fun. It looks like a paper plate. I've used this on a few food layouts already, but let's see if this makes a difference. Yeah, I can already tell you that is exactly what that little shopping cart needed, and it just looks a lot better to me having that little focal spotlight circle behind it. I am very ready to be done with those hot sauce bottles, so I went ahead off camera and adhered those down so they are permanent to the page now. And then we have these little pieces left over that I had set aside. So I love these little chevron arrows. I wish I had 3. I wonder if there was 3 and it got lost. I could always cut another one from paper. So we have this little piece here that I could tuck. I kind of like how that offsets the white circle, and then we have this little tag. We can maybe layer these kind of over this corner here. To finish up my title, off camera, I went ahead and stamped the word stuff on these little die cut paperboard shapes, and I have used the A Typeface. This is an old stamp set from my stash, and it was small enough to fit. So we could anchor this right here, maybe underneath. I think I kind of like that better. I'm not sure. We'll let that kind of hang out there for right now, but I might move that back down. I also found this. Check it out. That says Sauce Boss. How perfect is that? This is the BBQ Boss Stampin' Thin Cut set from Close to My Heart, and this was just a few seasons ago, so you might have this in your stash or something similar. But yeah, that's gonna look cute maybe right there. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this. Let me set these aside. And I think paprika ink, because I want it to look like the hot sauce, and paprika is the color of the paper in the center. It makes me so happy to be able to put my stamp sets to work. Let's go ahead and ink that up one more time. It even has a little highlight on the bottle. So cute. I'll go ahead and get that die cut out, and then we can add it to our layout. And we're getting close to the finishing touches here, but there's a few more things I think I would like to add. That looks cute there. What I'm thinking is bringing in some of this striped paper up in the corner, like tearing out a piece, just to kind of bring a little color to this upper corner. So I am going to tear this paper, not very much, maybe just kind of like 2.5, 3 inches, and then maybe just, not even an inch in, just enough to show this striped paper. And that's going to bring all the colors. There's Harbour, the pine green, and the paprika. So using your fingernails, you can kind of rough this up and give it a little bit of a textured edge here. It looks kind of cool. Typically when I add this little design feature to my layouts, I like to add it to the other side of the layout also. I would kind of maybe go on the left-hand side on a diagonal line, so it'd be the lower left, but I don't really have room because of the way this layout is designed. I'm going to go ahead and glue these little chevron arrows down and get those secured into place. I really do like that little pop of color in the upper right-hand corner. I think that looks really cool. So what I could do just to add that paper and repeat those colors is maybe just cut a little banner from this scrap here and swap it out so we have that same pattern. I'm just using this as a guide so we get the same shape roughly, and I'll cut up from each corner to the center. And then I do want to add just a little bit of black ink. I just keep my little sponge dauber tool within arm's reach all the time. And yep, I think that looks good, and it really complements that upper corner. I am looking for embellishments to finish off the portion of my title that says stuff. There's 2 little holes on either side, and these are black brads. Comment below and let me know if you have that embellishment case. That was one of my first close to my heart purchases way back, like over 16 years ago, and I love that thing. So I'm just going to tuck these in and bend them over because I don't want them going through my paper. Now, there's a splatter stamp on this Art of Texture stamp set, and I thought that might be kind of fun, like, drip in hot sauce. So I'm going to use my paprika ink and just put a few of these around the layout. I think it'd be kind of fun, and yeah, I do like that. So let's go ahead and maybe one down along the side of the circle. And again, I want to put this over on the left-hand side of the page, but I don't have a ton of room over there. And we've got that other stamping, but you know what? I'm just going to go for it. We can layer the stamping, and I think you'll see enough of that color that it'll make a statement. Yes, that looks good. I did go ahead and type up my journaling on my Avery Clear sticker paper. I had a lot to say, and there's no way I could have fit it very nicely if I had handwritten that out. So typing it does allow you to get more words in. So yeah, I like the way the stamping turned out in that torn corner. Look at that cute little guy. He was 16 at the time. All that hot spicy goodness. I did also add a little strip of green paper here in the same pattern paper as the strip of green on the left. And you guys know what to do. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and let me know if your kids or if you have something you have to get every time you go to the grocery store. If you're looking for more masculine layouts, definitely check this playlist out right here. And everything I used is in the description box below. Thanks for watching.